Hi, guys. All right, we have a treat today. We have Dr. Velonda. She is the owner of Sweet Potato Delights. And I got to tell you guys, uh, that stuff is so delicious. It's so delicious. I and then we just have a treat today. We're going to talk about her business today. We're going to talk about, her experience with QT Business Solutions, her experience with Goldman Sachs. She's been presenting, she's sought after. Uh, she's growing. She has many distributors. So I'm not gonna talk about it, Dr. Valanda. I'm gonna have you introduce yourself and tell us about your business.
Okay. Okay, great. Greetings. I am so happy and pleased to be with you, Tina. I am Dr. Velonda Anderson, founder and CEO of Sweet Potato Delights. I am a veteran. Sweet Potato Delights manufactures vegan, sweet potato based baked goods, mostly for restaurants, health food stores, co op grocery stores like the Detroit People's Food Co op. We do catering as well, corporate catering, business meetings, breakfast, lunch mostly. Farmers market season, the weather's getting ready to break here in Michigan. I don't know, maybe we got another month and a half, but uh, so from June to end of September, second week of October is the farmers market season. So we're in 5 markets, different markets around Metro Southeast Michigan, because we are in Lansing and Holt markets, as well as Detroit local markets. Pre-pandemic, we were really kind of focused on grocery stores, but pandemic happened, and just like all the businesses, we were pivoting, and that's when we pivoted to the restaurants and health food stores. We at that time had one wholesaler, and she was also a retail boot camp student. We're in class together, and she's like, you need to just look at other restaurants. I'm not the only restaurant that needs it. Most often restaurant owners are the chef, and they're focusing on the main menu, and they don't have time to do the desserts, but they want to build that out. So thanks to Lady Q, with the Q's Kitchen, for helping me get out of my brain and do that pivot. And it's been a good pivot. We're up to 11 wholesale accounts. The wholesale accounts make up about 52% of our business right now. What surprised me last year is that catering and special events made up like about 28%. And I was really surprised, because we really, I really haven't done a lot of marketing, but so a lot of word of mouth, and people are agreeing with you, Tina, that it's tasty, that it's delicious. And so we've been able to do more catering type of events.
Amazing. All man, that is so much stuff. I didn't know you were a veteran, so that in itself is, thank you for your service. We love it, woman that just got out there, and then now you're doing your own business, and it's very successful. What inspired you to start this business, and what problem are you solving for your customers?
So, interestingly enough, I did not envision myself being a food entrepreneur. As a matter of fact, it was not on my radar. I tell folks that I came to food entrepreneurship kind of kicking and screaming. After the military service, I was a corporate wellness consultant. Was a public health professional, cookbook author, and then I landed on food entrepreneurship. So when I wrote my first book, out of the doctoral process, it was called Pass the Sweet Potatoes, Please. Lots of recipes with sweet potatoes. But the sweet potato cheesecake was one of the recipes that I would always bake and have samples. So now, mind you, I'm not thinking food entrepreneurship. I'm thinking I'm going to be a professor, and I'm just going to write cookbooks, right? And I'm going to teach people how to cook healthy for themselves. So I'd sample, have the cheesecake, and people would say, wow, I need to order that. And I'm like, I'm in professor mode. I'm like, it's on page 60 of the book. And they kind of look at me like, okay, Dr. Velonda, we're going to support you and buy the book, but you just really need to sell them. We'll buy them. Can you just sell them? And so after about 2 years, I stopped resisting. and responded to the request and demand. And then I started Sweet Potato Delights,
Mm,
what Michigan calls cottage law. Then within about 3 years, um, and connecting with organizations like Food Lab,
mm,
the notion of food entrepreneurship started being on my radar even more. And we got certified by MDARD, Michigan Department of Agriculture, to wholesale commercially manufacture. And so since 2016, I was still with the health department as the WIC program manager.
mm.
3 years later, it's like, okay, what you're going to do? You're going to do this or you're going to do that. And so I took the leap in 2019 to become full time in the business of providing healthy vegan choices for folks.
Wow.
Sweets. People, they want their sweets. They want their cakes and their whatever. I'm still a nutritionist, so I just want to make it healthy. But at the end of the day, you want it to be tasty.
I love it. I love healthy and tasty
Yeah.
and nutritionist, or nutritious. That's what I said.
Yeah.
All right. So tell me this. So you just told me, how does your business serve and impact the community? Maybe, that's something different.
Well, you asked me about what the problem that I was solving. The problem just really is around food access, access to healthier options. Because everybody, no, everybody's not going to be vegetarian. Everybody's not going to be vegan, but
Mhm.
everybody needs to put more plants in their life. People are very, very busy. So if you can make it and have it where they can have access to it,
Mm.
then you can impact people changing their lives for healthier outcomes. So access to healthier choices. And so we place my ideal customer, if you would say, is restaurants and health food
Mm.
stores, and those places that I would, if I was your nutrition coach, recommend that you go to eat if you're wanting to dine out. So I am also solving the problem for restaurateurs that
Mm.
want to expand their offerings to healthy thinking people. So we got kind of two things going on, two things in terms of solving problems. A community impact, the best way that I've found so far is with our cookies. So
Mm.
we do once a year, we call it the cookie drop. So for the whole month of December and all the way through Kwanzaa, we drop cookies at nonprofit organizations that are working with youth, seniors, or veterans. And so we're adding on, or what we've added on is cookie subscriptions and cookie fundraising. So
Mm.
I'm partnering with nonprofits that, are already doing fundraising, but we can use the cookies as a fundraising activity for them. And so I'm hoping to this year to level that up and work with a lot more nonprofit organizations.
Amazing, amazing. I always look at those two questions because I believe they're the same, but I always get two separate, whole different answers to that question. So I said, you know what? I'm just gonna keep asking the question. So I'm gonna ask you one more. What would you say to a potential customers who are considering using your product or service?
So I would say, um, while you may not be vegan or vegetarian, you do want your sweets, but you want to have baked goods that taste good but not going to whack your body. So if you haven't tried any of the items, let me know which is your favorite, and I will give you a sample, and we can just take it from there.
Amazing. All right. So now we're going to get into your experience with QT Business Solutions because you're one of our awesome, amazing clients. So I want to ask you, how did you first hear about QT Business Solutions?
Detroit Means Business. I was connected with resources through Detroit Means Business. And when I went on their platform, you look through to see which vendor you want to have services with. And I met you, Tina, like several years ago. So I had a little understanding of the amazing work that you were already doing with, and that QT was doing, helping businesses just level up from wherever you are, and help you kind of figure out like what it is that you actually need to do to level up. And so I was like, QT's on the list. I'm going to use them. So that's how I chose. That's how I chose it. Yes.
Awesome. Okay, so what challenges were you facing before working with QT?
So I think the biggest thing was about, planning, forecasting, because out of the process, I got an amazing set of plans, not only a redo of my business plan, but then an operations plan.
Mm,
And I mean, I hadn't thought of that. It's like you think of business plan, but you don't think about those other little components that you need to also have plans for, a marketing plan, an operations plan.
mm.
So through that process, it just opened up my brain. And okay, to a lot of things that you just don't know what you don't know
Mm.
until you're having conversation with individuals that are skilled at bringing out of your head the things that you need to identify and add plans to.
I always get that. You what you just said. You don't know what you don't know, and I've done a couple of these Mission Mondays before, and I keep getting that. QT Business Solutions. We write business plans. So they thought they were just going to get a business plan, but we don't actually just do a business plan. We do a lot more. We go deep into, maybe even looking at your visibility, your marketing visibility. Most companies are not going to help you there, right? Write a business plan, but they're not going to actually do a report on your marketing, how you show up. They might, like I said, they might not help you do that operations plan to kind of plan out your day so that when you want to replace yourself, you have something to start with, to have someone to actually look at how you're going to replace yourself if you weren't there. So I really enjoy working with people like you, because it's so fun to see the beginning, and then you were already successful, and then now we were able to actually help you get a little bit better, and that's what actually gives me joy. Like, we are actually able to help you move the needle further down the line.
Yes, yes. A sales forecast was another big
Oh.
area, just, when we're talking about the numbers, like what are your numbers and what do they mean? And how do you use those numbers to project where you're trying to go? And not that you get it all in, once we've gone through, it's like, okay, now you've got this, but you need to revisit this,
Mhm.
because so many things may happen, things may change, I recently hired a part-time person. So uh, as I'm thinking about like, okay, being able to work more on the business as opposed to in the business. So like you said, like what tasks do you need to make sure you have a formal process for and you
Mhm.
have it written out so that now you can take that off of your plate and you can put it on somebody else's plate, or you're adding those hands to the space that you're in. So you level up your capacity.
Oh,
So yeah.
oh man, that just that makes my heart jump. So, can you walk us through the process of working with QT? And I know you just said it. How did we specifically help?
So the initial help was just the conversations. Like I guess we would call discovery calls. So we went through the process of having discovery calls to find out exactly what it is that we were going to spend the time on. Because there's a lot of things that can be done, but maybe you're not doing all of them at this one point. So the discovery calls, and then the documents, the questionnaires that were sent, so that in our follow-up meetings, they would be what's the word I want to use? Productive. That's the word I want to use. Right. Productive. So now you've got the discovery calls out of the way. You've got some to do. The to-do list was always wonderful. You always walked away with like, okay, these are some things that we want to try to get done between now and the next time that we talk, or you see the communication. Communication is so key. And I'm sure that I feel like I've leveled up a little bit just by having the communications in terms of digitally, because that's a
Okay.
big, it's like we got to get our hands around digital and making use of um, the technology. That's what I want to use. So that was very helpful to just learn how to use more of the technology just by virtue of the way our meetings were set up, the platforms to access documents. Very organized, I would say, very organized. So, and I'm sure it's been, a number of years since you've been doing it, each iteration, you guys become better and better. But the process is very smooth and very organized, very well organized.
Amazing. All right. So tell me this. What was the most valuable part of working with QT Business Solutions?
I
Just take
think
me. Okay, go ahead.
the document was the most valuable thing. I think, and first of all, just having the conversations, because things will come up and I'm like, oh, I never thought of that. Oh, okay. Oh, what's that? So just again, opening the mind and coming with an open mind, being
Mm,
come into the space with an open mind and listening to um what you're sharing, what the different team members are sharing. Is like, well, they got the expertise and they've seen a lot of different businesses, and knowing that it doesn't matter what industry that you're in, there are some core things about just being in business that are apply across the board, and things that you know or things that you don't know. Again, the numbers just helping me get more comfortable with the numbers, looking at the numbers
mm.
and making assessments of, oh, okay, well, this is showing this. I know I thought bam, but no, the numbers say, right?
Oh, wow.
Like I recently was doing research on hiring a virtual assistant.
Mm.
Well, my energy and my mind's like, I need a virtual assistant. But you look at your numbers, look at what's happening. Like, but the budget's like, no, not right now. Okay, maybe in quarter number 2 or whatever. But being able to look at the numbers and make that decision or have that conversation was really helpful. The document was just really amazing because I'm constantly going back
Oh, wow.
to this document and like, okay, you gave those self protections. Now we're in 2025. This is what it's really looking like. So that is such a valuable tool as well.
Oh my gosh. That's what I love to hear. I love to hear that. So let's go. We're going to talk about some fun things. Can you tell us a fun fact about you that most people don't know?
Most people don't know that I love double Dutch jump rope.
I didn't
um,
know that.
I used to be a double Dutch jump rope coach. As a matter of fact, my first nonprofit experience, I had a nonprofit called Mo Better Health, and it was about after school programming, health after school programming for kids. And I partnered with Coleman Young Recreation Center, the
Oh,
City
wow.
of Detroit Recreation Department. Partnerships are we cannot say too much about partnerships, okay? And so at the end of the school year, I said, okay, guys, when we come back in the fall, you got to have something physical. What do you want to do? And they told me double dutch. So I spent that summer connecting with the recreation department manager that was at the Adams Bustle Recreation Center.
Mm.
He was at the time, Alton Darden, he was at the time the Michigan State representative for the American Double Dutch League. Fast forward, we did double dutch. We took the kids all throughout the Midwest. We even had the Michigan State championship event at Wayne State, and we took teams to the nationals. But what I learned, my focus was on nutrition and physical activity. But
Mm.
what I learned, those young people walked away with so much more. They learned problem solving skills because it's a 3 or 4 person team. When you're competing, the coach is in the stands. if you're having problems, you got to figure it out. So they learn, problem solving skills. We had one young lady, her mom put her in the program, and I was so happy that they saw the value in the program because her mother eventually became one of our board members. So, but this young lady was 50 pounds overweight, and she said she only wanted to turn. Fast forward, by the end of the school year, she was the best jumper on the high school team.
Oh my God.
Fast forward a couple of years later when she's off at college and she's calling me for a reference. And I was telling her, well, what are you doing? Well, it's a summer job. She called me back. She said, guess what? It was down to me and one other person. And they asked what unique thing I was going to bring to the young people. And I told them I could teach them double Dutch. I was like, oh my gosh. So I love double Dutch. I'm a part of a 40 plus double Dutch jump rope crew right now. So I can teach anybody how to get in the double Dutch jump rope. So.
Oh my gosh. You know what? I think that would actually be some really good exercise for me to actually start. I might drop a roll and come and do some double Dutch, which even though I probably keep stopping the rope because I'm terrible at double Dutch.
That is okay. Yes, that group meets every Saturday. I don't think anybody goes every Saturday, but whenever you can drop in, pop in. We've had people that are like 70, 80 years old, like I never jumped rope. And by the time they left, they were able to at least do a few bunny hops, right?
Oh my goodness. That is amazing. So if you weren't running this business, what would you be doing instead?
I would probably be a professor doing research. I am, a foodie in a number of different lanes. So I would probably be doing research and doing more writing.
It sounds like this is more your passion. I'm gonna guys, if you want to get in touch with Dr. Velonda, her business is Sweet Potato Delights. Delicious vegan delights. Look at that. Oh my goodness, look how delicious it looks, guys. And if you want to get in contact with her, you are able to call at or email info@sweetpotatodelight.com. I'm gonna have you tell the number, but I did wanted to show you where you said you have a lot of places that you are distributing. It's so funny because this is one of our customers right here, the Detroit Pepper Company. We got him a grant to finish building out that restaurant. So I want you to tell them where can you get, where can they contact you, and what if they are a restaurant, like tell them the process.
Okay, so you mentioned Detroit Pepper Company. That what we do offer to restaurants that we want to wholesale, place our products there, is to create a item that is exclusively available at that location.
Oh, wow.
So the sweet potato pepper cookie is only available at Detroit Pepper Company.
Oh, wow.
He does also carry the cheesecake, but the pepper cookie, we sell it at the markets or what have you, but there's no other location that you can find that at but at his location.
Oh, wow. Wow. I didn't know that.
Yes. You see the other restaurants, Trap Vegan, which is on the Avenue of Fashion on Livernois near 8 Mile. The Kitchen by Q.
Right next door to our other customer, Dawn Sanford, Shears and Shaves.
Okay.
Go ahead.
And they recently opened up a second location. So they carry the cheesecake. The people are buying up those cheesecakes there. The Kitchen by Q, which is, I love her restaurant because she is just about healthy eating. So whether you're a meat lover or whether you're a plant lover, both people can go there and have something wonderful to eat. She does carry the cheesecake. Detroit People's Food Co-op is an amazing location. They are the location, the grocery store that carries the most items. They have our bundt cake. They have our cheesecake. They have the oatmeal chocolate chip cookies, which, by the way, is a gluten-free item. They also have the 3-bean sweet potato chili. Doing the Thanksgiving, Christmas season, we do the sweet potato pies, and they carry the sweet potato pies. So that's the one location that has multiple items. The More Herb Marketplace is another location that has several items. They carry the muffin, the cranberry date muffin. That's like perfect for your coffee or tea in the morning or afternoon, whatever. They carry the oatmeal chocolate chip cookies, and they carry the cheesecake.
Oh, wow.
You have the water station. They carry the muffin and the oatmeal chocolate chip cookie. I think oatmeal chocolate chip cookie is like the most popular one of the cookies that we have. Natural Food Patch in Ferndale. They carry the cheesecake as
Oh,
well.
natural.
Cafe Noir and Detroit Sip is our newest one. We don't have them there, but those two cafes both carry the cheesecake.
Mm.
And then Eastside Lansing Co-op, we actually landed in that location because one of our customers at the Holt Farmers Market was like, well, where am I going to find you when you're not here? I said, well, where do you shop? They said, go to the co-op. And we did. And they carry all three of our cookies, the trail mix, the lemon cookie, and the oatmeal chocolate chip cookie. So we're looking to increase our wholesale roster. Do more corporate catering. We love doing the breakfast and lunch catering, and yeah, and particularly because we want to be able to create more jobs. During the farmers market season is
Mm.
our biggest opportunity because it's summertime and we can hire the young people that maybe think they want to be in food and beverage and give them 8-week experience where they can learn and just see if this is something they want to do for the future.
Amazing. Well, tell them how to contact you one more time.
Yes, so you can email us at info@sweetpotatodelights.com. You can call us at 313-778-0578. You can also order from the website. Not everything is shippable. The sweet potato cheesecake, we're still working on national shipping, but you can get that delivered locally and in the Southeast Michigan area.
Amazing. Well, thank you again for joining us here today. Guys, make sure that you support our businesses, our small, minority owned, women owned, veteran owned business. So please go ahead and do that. And we will see you next time.
All right. Thank you.